I was recently reminded that there are three things we can do when faced with disappointment. We can keep moving forward, we can stand still, or we can fall off. And yes, before you ask, even I need someone to pour into me sometimes. So I want to concentrate on what we can do to help us move forward. Hi, I'm Keisha from KeishaGolder.com, and today I'm going to talk about 5 tips that will help us continue moving forward in those moments when we are faced with disappointment. When we experience disappointments, we do not sometimes actually feel the emotions that are involved with experiencing the disappointments. So, tip number one is to acknowledge your emotions that you are feeling. This tip is important because without acknowledging the emotions that you are feeling, you are not able to deal with them. And we want to deal with our emotions so that we know how to move on in the instance that the same emotions come up again. It's not ignoring your emotions. You are acknowledging them. You are feeling them and you are figuring out what you can do so that you do not have to feel those emotions again in the same situation. I know a lot of people like to avoid emotions. I was specifically one of those people. I would push all my emotions down and keep pushing down and keep pushing down until I couldn't push them down anymore. And then I would completely explode. And the thing that would cause the explosion absolutely had nothing to do with the emotions that were coming out. But because I refused to acknowledge my emotions and deal with them when they presented themselves, that was what happened. So we don't want to explode emotions that have been pushed down for years on anyone. We want to actually deal with them. We want to actually process them, feel them. And like I said, figure out a way that this situation, if it was to happen again or a similar situation, would not affect us in the same degree that it would affect us present. Sometimes when we experience disappointments, we experience them in moments of tunnel vision where we cannot see anything beyond what we are focused on. Tip number two is for us to be open to new perspectives. Being open to new perspectives is extremely important because it allows you to see your disappointment from a different point of view. It allows you to look at all aspects, all roles that were played, including yours, in the disappointment. And I know a lot of us don't want to believe it, but sometimes we play a hand in our own disappointment. And it could simply be by giving someone else too much credit when they haven't shown us that they deserve the credit. That's just an example, but we have to be open to new perspectives in order to fully process a disappointment, to fully understand why it happened, and again what we can do to try to prevent it from happening again. How do you handle your disappointments when you experience them? Do you sulk off, go in a corner and cry yourself to sleep? Do you look at it from a positive point of view and say, I'll keep going because I know there's a chance that I'll be successful? Tip number three is to rebuild your self image and your confidence. Yes, how we perceive disappointments are connected to how we feel about ourselves. If we're always down on ourselves, we are not going to be able to pull us out of the hole that the disappointment has caused. When we're always building ourselves up and being confident and saying affirmations and being positive and have a positive outlook on things, even when a situation may not be positive, we're able to pull ourselves up because we know that guess what? I may be right here right now, but I can get back up to here with work, whether it's internal work, whether it's working with someone else, whatever it is. You need to make sure that you are confident in everything that you do. You need to make sure that how you feel about yourself is positive. And if you need someone to help you, be it a mentor, a life coach, a friend, a family member, then enlist them to help you. That's what they are there for, especially mentors and coaches. They're there to help you create the things that you want in life and to see things from a different perspective. Again, perspective that you may not be seeing. So you can't stay down on yourself and think that you're going to be disappointed and recover right away because that's not how it works. How you feel about yourself is reflected in how you feel about other things. I know we have all heard the saying more money, more problems. But has that over the course of time ever kept anyone from trying to make more money? Absolutely not. So, tip number 4 is to keep hope alive when you are faced with a challenge. Think about it. Nobody has ever said, oh, if I make more money, I'm going to have more challenges and more problems. So I'm not going to make more money. So when you're faced with a challenge, you should not say a challenge or a disappointment. You should not say, oh, I don't want to face this again. So I'm just going to stay in my house, not communicate with anybody, not do anything. How many times have you been turned down for a job? Did that stop you from continuing your job search? How many relationships have you been in that did not work out? Has that stopped you from being able to love other people and potentially finding a relationship that works best for you? So don't allow disappointment to kill your hope and your aspirations because it's not worth it. Allow that hope, even if it's a slither of hope, to shine through because it's going to give you the push that you need to continue. Most of us are already surrounded by people. So, tip number 5, when you're faced with disappointment, build relationships and ask for help. Why not utilize the people that you are surrounded by or the people that you're associated with to help you overcome the disappointment, to show you a new perspective, to help you rebuild your self image, to help you keep your hope flourishing? It's okay. We all need help sometimes, yes, myself included. And I'm actually at a point right now where I am really learning how to delegate, and ask people for help. That has always been something hard for me. So when I tell you something or when I share something with you, trust me, I've been through it or I'm going through it and I'm working through it. No one is going to look at you like you are a lesser person because you are asking for help. If anything, they will see you as someone who is strong enough to know that they need help, to ask for it and accept it. That is the big part of it. Don't just ask for the help and then don't accept it. You need to ask for the help and accept it. We can only get better when we work together with things that we need to work together on. Just because this is my journey to my life purpose, and along this journey, I'm on a path to self discovery, does not mean that the people around me do not play a big part in it. Be mindful that people are placed in our lives for reasons, and it's up to us to allow them to fulfill their parts in our lives, but we have to allow them. Disappointments happen every day, but the question remains, what will you do when you are faced with your disappointments? Will you continue to move forward? Will you stand still? Or will you completely fall off? I hope the tips that I shared with you today will remind you and help you to continue to move forward. And I hope that the tips that I shared today will help you rethink just giving up. I would like for you to take a second and think about a moment where you faced a disappointment. What did you do in that moment that you would do differently now? Take a second, drop it in the comment section below. You know I'm going to read it. And I'll see you guys next video.